All right, I want to talk about the four methods of continuous improvement that are available to us. And basically, if you're going to follow along, we want to draw a very large four blocker so that you can write inside of it. All right. So if you have a continuous improvement mindset, then there's four methodologies available to you. First is DMAIC. All right, and what do you use DMAIC for? You use it for problems with no proven solution. Okay, so DMAIC is for problems with no proven solution. The Y for DMAIC is the problem, and the X is the cause. All right, so the Y is the problem and the X is the cause. There's a famous saying, those who do, and those who don't teach. Well, I believe those who teach do it better. I used to write that DMAIC was for business problems, but then as I use an example in most of my classes, my problem is I'm 245 and I want to be 225. That is not a business problem, but it is a problem that can certainly be fixed using DMAIC. Also, this also proves the point that DMAIC is not process improvement, which unfortunately most people call it. Now, that doesn't mean you cannot improve a process using DMAIC, but you improve a process to fix a Y because you think the process is the cause. But in this example, there would be no process-related cause to why I'm 245. All right, so that's the DMAIC methodology. Then you have lean, and lean is the removal of waste. And as I told you, lean practitioners, those who have drunk the Kool-Aid and think that's the only thing that works, they like to also pretend Japanese. They speak Japanese, so they'll call that muda or waste. So the Y for lean is cycle time, and the X is non-value added steps or activities. And I'm not going to write them down given the font size here, but if you recall, there were three definitions of a value-added step. It must physically change the thing, it must be done right the first time, and the customer would pay for it, right? The customer would pay for it if they knew you were doing it. So what is Lean Six Sigma? Let's answer that question real quick. The two methodologies came together in about 2004. At GE, we only did Six Sigma using DMAIC. Toyota's famous for Lean. So Lean Six Sigma is always solve your problems using DMAIC. The DMAIC methodology lends itself to better project management and better problem solving. Lean tends to do a series of standalone Kaizen events. And I love Lean. I think the tools within Lean are amazing. So here's how it works. If your problem is that something takes too long, you'll use more of the Lean tools. Okay, so that's the basic premise. The next methodology is called Design for Six Sigma, and it is for new stuff. You pick the words. What are you buying? What are you building? What are you making? Just any action verb there. Or where and this is particularly for manufacturers, the existing has reached entitlement. So there, minor improvement is not enough. Entitlement. I did not leave myself enough room here, did I? So let me explain entitlement real quick. By the way, the Y for Design for Six Sigma is the customer needs, and the X is the solution. One would hope when the new Apple phone comes out, it is designed to meet needs that are unmet, and therefore the solution meets it. But you also find sometimes that they're just designing a solution and they hope that you'll buy it. But Design for Six Sigma, in the name, is design something so it doesn't make defects in the first place. But what is entitlement? Entitlement is the best you've ever been. So let's say I have 6% profit, then high is good. Entitlement would be the best profit you ever had. Let's say I once had profit of 12%. In the case of manufacturing, it would be the most widgets made. I had a client, he makes 2 million lancets an hour. These are needles for diabetic syringes. and 1 hour they made 2.3. So notice how I kept the unit of measure the same, hour, hour. If you need to go past 2.3, let's say we asked them to get 3 million lancets out an hour, they would say, no, we can't do that because this is probably when the machines were running wide open and we need to look at redesigning the plant. So that's Design for Six Sigma. And then lastly, there are go-dos. Not everything needs to be a Lean Six Sigma project or a Lean project or Design for Six Sigma. So quick example, we were at Home Depot doing projects and we had holes in the parking lot. All right, and basically there was nothing in place to allow the store manager to take some asphalt off the shelf or hire a local vendor to fix these holes. So we created something. That's a go-do. But then we did a DMAIC project, which was how could we reduce holes appearing within the first year. So that became one of my Belts DMAIC project, which then led to a Design for Six Sigma project on is there a new or better way to pour the asphalt for a parking lot so that we don't get holes in the first year. And then as far as the business case, when I talk about how to do a Six Sigma project, who cares about holes in the parking lot? Well, if someone falls in a hole, there's 1 million in potential litigation that you have to pay somebody. So these are the 4 methodologies for continuous improvement. One where you would use Lean Six Sigma. Let's say it takes too long to hire somebody. So my problem is it takes, let's say, 62 days to hire somebody. Well, you just mentioned cycle time. So I definitely expect you to use some of the Lean tools. For example, a value stream map would be very important at this point. So these are the 4 methodologies of continuous improvement, and we're on to the next subject.